So it would seem we are back with another toy review. Been a while since the last one, right? Anyways, today I have a triple review. Kind of fitting considering the last review was a double review, right? The figures I am reviewing today are the Hiya Toys King Ghidorah 1991, Godzilla 1991, and again Godzilla 1991, but the Heat Ray version. All from the movie Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Fun fact, this was actually the first Godzilla movie I ever watched because back in 2019, when I first got into Godzilla, I really wanted to watch Godzilla King of the Monsters, but I couldn't find anywhere I could watch it for free. And at the time, someone had uploaded the entire movie of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah to YouTube, and that was how I got introduced into the wonderful world of Godzilla. And then Jobby the Hong came into my life, and now I'm wasting my money on Godzilla toys. So with that being said, this movie is very important to me, and I also think it's a very good movie. With that out of the way, let's start the review by reviewing the Big G himself, King Ghidorah. Now, just from a first glance, it's easy to tell just how phenomenal the painting and the sculpting on this figure is. Hiya Toys did an amazing job capturing the likeness, even more so than the already amazing-looking SH Monster Arts King Ghidorah. Taking a closer look at some of the details, we can see just how much effort was put into all the cracks, bumps, and crevices placed all throughout the face. And the paint on the eyes is absolutely amazing and very lifelike. Honestly, this might be the best eye paint I've ever seen on a kaiju figure in the whole time I've been collecting. At least until a certain someone we'll talk about later. It's safe to say that even just the heads on this figure are jam-packed with life and great attention to detail, and that also goes for the rest of the figure as well. Moving on to the body, we once again see every defined scale highlighted with a very movie-accurate gold color. Even just the feet on this figure are amazingly detailed, but who cares about the feet? Especially when one of the most iconic parts of King Ghidorah are his beautiful wings. Both the wings on the figure have two bendy wires running through the wings, which allows for very natural and dynamic posing, and is honestly refreshing to see after the years of hard plastic wings on King Ghidorah figures. Finishing up, we have these extremely long tails which help Ghidorah balance nicely, and are also, of course, very detailed. Unfortunately, he comes with no accessories, which sucks because none of the other Heisei Ghidorah figures are coming with beams, even though they should, so I really hope Hiya fixes that in the future. Now, even in just a standing position, he looks amazing, but this guy wasn't made as an action figure for nothing. Time for the articulation.
The very thought of you feels like fantasy. Close my eyes, you remain close to me. When you're in my arms, my sorrow disappears. Truth I know is what you wanna hear. You'll find I'm glad to say that love has dispersed from my mind through my soul to my heart. It is very clear I'll always need you here, ember of a fire that'll start, and the summer days.
As you can see, literally everything about this figure is amazing. The only tiny nitpick I have is that I wish the tails could have had more stability and range, like the next two figures in this review. Now, I love King Ghidorah, but Godzilla here is absolutely amazing and a huge step in the right direction for Hiya Toys. Like King Ghidorah, he also is filled to the brim with detail. However, he does have a subtle brown paint filling the crevices of the details and makes them less sharp than they could be. But even then, it doesn't hide any of the details, so it's virtually not even an issue at all. Plus, the details on the Hokkaido suit weren't even insanely sharp and defined anyway. Starting with the head, I'm sure we've all heard the tale of the issues this guy suffered with his eye paint. But the updated head sculpt on my figure here looks amazing. Again, great attention to details and very lifelike eyes. Moving on, he also has good paint on his toe claws and both pairs of hands that he comes with. Then we have the iconic dorsal plates, which are amazing, except for the bits where paint is chipped off, which is more my fault because I bring this guy with me everywhere I go. But don't worry, the figure is very durable with its paint. Anyways, the paint on the spines run all the way from the back of the neck down to the tip of the tail. And speaking of that tail, this is the best tail on a Godzilla figure or just any kaiju figure, period. It's incredibly sturdy and posable, and sometimes you can't even tell it moves. Hiya did a great job here, and they've already started using this system for their other Toho Godzillas, like GMK Godzilla and Godzilla 2000. And speaking of posing, let's show off his articulation as well.
The very thought of you feels like fantasy. Close my eyes, you remain close to me. When you're in my arms, my sorrow disappears. Truth I know is what you wanna hear. You'll find I'm glad to say that love has dispersed from my mind through my soul to my heart. It is very clear I'll always need you here, ember of a fire that'll start, and the summer days, they will fade away.
Overall, this is an amazing figure, and I highly recommend you get this guy, especially at that low price. Bandai. And our last figure of the day is the best one of the group, the Godzilla 1991 Heat Ray version from Hiya Toys. I won't go too in-depth with this guy as I did the other Godzilla because they are basically the same except for the paint on those beautiful transparent blue dorsals. I also really like the blue paint they used to simulate the glow, but honestly the best paint here is the eyes. They look even more lifelike than Ghidorah's and are even more accurate to the movie than the default version of this figure. The only complaints I really have is just the unpainted spines outside the blue glow on the tail, but even then I really don't mind because of how great the rest of the figure is. And then the fact the glow of the dorsals is inaccurate to the movie, but I also don't mind because they still look really good. Accessories wise, he comes with the same alternate pair of hands as the default figure, and of course his beautifully made atomic breath effect. To use it, you just insert the peg on the start of the breath into the hole in the roof of his mouth, and then boom, now you can level cities and your enemies to the ground. Oh yeah, and the updated head on the default 1991 figure is compatible with the beam accessory as well. I highly recommend this figure as well because it's very much worth getting. Now time for some size comparisons. Here they are next to the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1954 anniversary version and the Hiya Toys Evolved Godzilla. Here they are next to the SH Monster Arts Godzilla Final Wars and SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2000. And last but not least, here they are next to the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1991 Shinjuku Decisive Battle version and the Hiya Toys Shimo. Overall, these figures are a great representation of these kaiju and worth every cent. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, and while you're here, don't forget to check out my other videos on my channel. Although I don't upload videos as much as I post on my community tab, so don't forget to check out my community tab as well. And please consider liking and subscribing because your support means the world to me. With that being said, I will see you all next time.